Yo, what's popping? Kind of wanted to make a tier list because I have such a big ego, massive ego, that I think people care what I have to say about the game. So here's what I think about these weapons. I have the tiers set up into top tier is broken, and then OP. Oh, I guess I should explain. Broken weapons are like weapons that are absolutely ridiculous. If you're up against a weapon that's in the broken tier, then you're basically just boned because they're ridiculous. And then OP are weapons that should get nerfed because they're overpowered and they will win you matches. Balanced are weapons that I think are balanced, and that doesn't mean that the weapons in this tier like aren't better than the others in this tier or whatever. Like, it doesn't mean that some aren't stronger than others in this tier, or that they couldn't do with some changes. It just means that if Brawlhalla's final patch were to be this one, then I think these weapons would be like considered by the community to be balanced and good forever. And then viable are weapons that are not great. They're not very good, but you can still win with them. Like, you can still have success. You can still hit diamond or high diamond or win a tournament. You know, it's like weapons that are good enough, but not necessarily good. And then don't play are weapons that are so bad that you honestly just should not play them, like in this patch, because playing them is just disadvantaging yourself for basically no reason. But I don't think there are any weapons that I put in this category this patch, so. Alright, first up is Axe. Axe, I think, is viable. I think last patch it was pretty balanced, but they nerfed it for some reason. I don't know why. Oh yeah, that patch at the top that says 4.08 should be 5.0, but I guess this tier list is slightly outdated. It only needs to be up to date with the newest weapon release, so yeah, but whatever. Anyways, so yeah, I think Axe was pretty good last patch, and they nerfed it for no reason. Changes I'd like to see. I would like to see them buff it, but I know everyone's gonna hate that. So if they did some sort of compromise, like slightly nerfed Dare or Nair, which are like its most oppressive moves, and then did something like add the grounded Dare combos back, like the grounded Dare Sidelight, that was pretty fun. Or maybe buffed Sidelight and Sarah again, and to replace Dare. And I think that would be a good change for the weapon. But yeah, it's viable. It's like, if you play Axe or you main Axe, you don't have to stop maining Axe, but you are slightly disadvantaged compared to the rest of the weapons. And then guns. Next up is guns. I feel like pros are heavily underrating guns right now in this patch. They are not the best they've been, but they're not that bad. Like, pros are putting them on the bottom half of tier list. Like Snowy, I watched his tier list, he put guns on like low. He said they were bad. I definitely don't agree with that, so I'm gonna leave them on balanced. Alright, next is bow. Bow's pretty OP. I would think this is a good spot for bow, and I don't think many people would disagree. I feel like most people know that bow is pretty OP, but nobody plays the weapon enough for them to actually do something about it. Like, no pro really plays bow right now. Everyone's just playing Greatsword, Hammer, and Spear. So bow's kind of in the shadows. I think next patch, if they bring down Greatsword, Hammer, and Spear, which if they don't, I don't even know what they're doing. But if they do, I don't think it would be out of the realm of possibilities that they neglect balancing bow at all, because it doesn't have a lot of prevalence right now. So next patch, I'm predicting that Greatsword, Hammer, Spear get nerfed, and then bow becomes the best weapon. Or it'll just still be Greatsword because, you know, BMG. Alright, then Cannon. Cannon is, in my opinion, viable, and I think it's honestly tied with Axe, but if I were to put it either above or below, I think I'd put it slightly above Axe. All Axe really has is Sidelight Nair, and then it also just has Dare. The only way you could kill with Axe is if you get to dare people off stage, which if you're getting dared by Axe off stage or on the wall, that's your fault, because why would you get on the wall when there's an Axe? player, but yeah, Cannon has a bunch of great things. Like every move on Cannon is good. It's just it lost its ability to hit long strings. So you're going to be able to hit every move on Cannon pretty easily, but you're not going to get anything out of those moves, which is why it's not super good. So what I mean by that is that Endlight is still a good move, Recovery is still good, Sarah's still good, but you're never gonna you can't string with them. You can only hit your Downlight Nair, Downlight Dare, Downlight Sarah. And other than that, you have really no strings, so your damage buildup isn't gonna be that great. So that's why Cannon is viable. All of its moves are good, but it's not a really good weapon because you can't really do anything with all its good moves. Alright, then Gauntlets. I really, as a Gauntlets player, want to put Gauntlets in balanced, but I know that they're a little OP right now. I think Gauntlets are like right on the edge between OP and balanced, and I don't think that morally or objectively I can put them in balanced. So I'm going to put them in OP, but they're very close to balanced. And the reason being, Gauntlets have no priority on anything. Like, you look at Ground Pound, that move is vicious, but it literally gets out-prioritized by every recovery, if not clashing, out-prioritized. And it has the Dare, Nair recovery, and D-Light Nair recovery and D-Light Nair Dare true combos, which are really good, but I don't know if that's enough to consider the weapon better than, for example, Bow. They've got good damage buildup, and D-Light Nair recovery is a really good kill option. Kills fairly early. But other than those little gimmicky combos, the weapon is overall balanced, I would say. So if they removed D-Light Nair recovery, or at least made it, yeah, D-Light Nair recovery, then I think it would be balanced. I also hope that in the balance patch, if they nerf them, I hope they find a way to get rid of D-Light Nair recovery without getting rid of D-Light Nair Dare, because D-Light Nair Dare isn't even that OP. It's just damage. It's a damage combo. Many weapons have insane damage combos. So hopefully they can just get the reason it's OP is because it kills so early. So hopefully they can just find a way to get rid of D-Light Nair recovery. That's what I would change about Gaunts. Next up, Hammer. I don't even need to say anything about Hammer. I'm trying to put it above Bow. There we go. So Hammer does literally everything and has no weaknesses at all. It's got insane range on Sarah, Nair. Its Dare will fucking annihilate you. It sends you so far. Endlight hits stacked and is one of the fastest startup moves in the game. You have true combos out of Endlight. I think Endlight Sarah is true at a certain health. You got Downlight Sidelight true at some health. Sidelight Dash Endlight true. Downlight Sarah, Downlight Dare, Downlight Nair, Downlight Ensig for half of the Hammer characters. This weapon's ridiculous. Nair hits you everywhere. It hits on the backswing, which makes no sense. Why would it hit on the backswing? That's the part where you're supposed to punish it. Why does it have hitboxes? But honestly, I don't know if I have to go into that much about why Hammer's OP. I think everyone basically knows that. But yeah, Hammer's pretty OP. It's at the top of OP. Alright, Katars. I think Katars are pretty balanced. I think they're slightly below guns, but honestly, I wouldn't change anything about Katars. They do what they need to do, which is build up damage, and they don't kill, but that's part of their design. They build up damage really easily, they approach really easily, and then they don't find the kill. If they found the kill, they'd be the best weapon in the game, because they'd be good at everything. But if every weapon's going to have strengths and weaknesses, I think Katars are in a pretty good spot, and they're pretty exemplary of how a balanced weapon should be. Alright, next is Lance. Everyone's taking fat dumps on Lance, saying it's garbage or trash tier. I really don't think it's that bad. I think it's top of viable. I don't think anyone's going to say that Lance is worse than Cannon. So, yeah, I think the Nair nerf did not hurt Lance that bad. You still have a 180 degree hitbox. It's not as big, but it's still 180 degrees. You have your D-Light, Endlight, your Sidelight, Sayers, almost, that hits pretty much everybody. Yeah, I would say Lance is still pretty good. Honestly, I think Lance might be balanced, but we'll see how the tier list looks at the end, and I'll probably make adjustments. Alright, next is Orb. And I think Orb is compared to these other weapons in balance, the top of balance. It does everything it needs to do. Its pros are that it builds up damage fast, strings easily, and kills. And its cons are that it's really, really, really short range. If you can get in on Orb, then you are guaranteed to be rewarded for it, and then if you can't, you can struggle, and that's, in my opinion, balanced. It's got a strengths and weaknesses, so I think Orb's a balanced weapon, and honestly, I don't think I would really change anything. I guess I might buff its recovery, or I mean ground pound a little bit, because the ground pound just got nerfed, and it's now way less useful as actually utility, like an actual utility move, which makes it kind of useless in general. So maybe if they made it so that the orb goes further down when you ground pound, basically giving it more range and priority, I think that could be a good change. But other than that, orb is really good right now, or at least balanced. Alright, Scythe is, honestly, I don't think it's that bad, but it's pretty bad. I don't think it's don't play. You can definitely still win with Scythe, but you can't win with Scythe as much as any other weapon down here anyway. So I would put Scythe at the bottom of viable. Scythe is well designed. It doesn't really need much to be good, but it takes it's the balance of Scythe and the state of Scythe really depends on the state of all the other weapons around it and not itself. I wouldn't personally, there's only a couple changes I would make to Scythe, but the main issue with Scythe is that everything else is just a better option. Not that Scythe needs changes with its core design. But a few things I would change are maybe the reverse dare on Scythe has like no stun. You can actually get woke up attacked out of Scythe reverse dare, then you can actually follow up out of reverse dare, which is something I think should be looked at, or at least it feels that way. Like, you hit someone with a reverse dare and you're about to go for the Sare, and they can actually wake up attack with lower startup and stun than your recovery time for using a dare. So you're like punished for hitting a move. So I would definitely buff reverse dare on Scythe's stun. And then once you are out of the damage range for Nair Sare to be hittable, Nair, the forward one, is basically useless. So if they could do something with that, maybe buff its variable force so that it stays in that damage range a similar amount of time, but then the longer you go, maybe eventually Nair could actually be like a decent option for killing if you're off stage or really high up. That's what I would change about Scythe, but yeah, like I said, it basically just depends on the weapons around it. It hasn't gotten changed pretty much all year, and it's not like it needed any changes, so. Alright, next is Spear. Spear is very overpowered. It's not a hammer overpowered, and bow isn't all the way at that level of Spear, but Spear is ridiculous. Spear down air has got to be the best edge guarding tool in the entire game. Like, I don't think nothing here is better. Like, Gauntlet ground pound gets out prioritized. I don't even know what else. Axe Dare has a ton of recovery time. I mean, Spear Dare is just ridiculous. When you hit a Spear Dare, it literally boosts you up, so you don't even have to do the recovering. The move does the recovering for you. And then, of course, you have the side light, dodge read, side light, downlight, Sare. Just think about that for a second. One of your dodge punishes is downlight. That's stupid. Double downlight is stupid. I don't understand why they reverted the double downlight change. All the spear players were like, oh my god, my weapon got gutted. But it really was not gutted. It was still fine. Like, pretty much most of the pros, except for like Boomy and Ethan, were saying that the spear changes that got rid of double downlight were fine. And it's not like you couldn't hit it. You could still do downlight Sare or downlight jump read downlight Sare. Like, you could literally just downlight jump downlight and it would cover the jump. So you could still hit downlight Sare if you read. It was like a risk reward thing. It was a 50-50. That's how it should have been, in my opinion. And I hope they revert that. And yeah, sidelight is way too good, especially since now the second hit sets up into the downlight. Like, you can miss your sidelight because they dodge it and then hit the last frame of the last swing and go for the downlight Sare. I think that's ridiculous and pretty OP, so I would nerf Spear big time. Alright, next is Sword. Sword is pretty balanced. I don't think Sword has really any issues. I'm not sure whether to put it above Orb or below Orb. I think their weapons are extremely similar. I'll put it above Orb because I just think Sword has more range overall on most of its moves, and it kills easier with its downlight dare recovery than Orb does with sidelight stare. The thing with sidelight stare on Orb is if you hit the sidelight the wrong way, like if you're on the right side of the stage and you hit it left, that's like gonna majorly extend the time to kill for the stock. Whereas Sword, you can hit downlight recovery anywhere on the map, any height, anything. And if you're below the map, you can hit a downlight dare instead. So Sword never has a problem killing, and I'm not saying that that's OP because it's in the balance section. I'm just saying that's why I put it above Orb. Alright, Greatsword. Do I even need to say anything about Greatsword? It's broken. It's out of this world ridiculous. Let's talk about things that they could nerf, because I don't think I should list the things that are OP. That would just be too long. So, one thing is that all the openers... Oh, by the way, I have a little bit of credence, because I'm level 27 on Mako, level 25 on Jaeon. I've been playing the Greatsword. I know the 6-hit unjumpables and all that BS. And I love the weapon, it's fun, but it's extremely overpowered. Alright, so, the first thing with Greatsword, this is the part that makes it feel like you can't do anything against it. It's how little recovery time all the openers have. You can just dash and then do an opener, dash sidelight, dash downlight, dash endlight, and just keep going, and there's no recovery time on any of them. I think they should definitely make it so that if you use an opener, you're kind of committed. That would also add some more diversity for strings. Like, you'd be incentivized to use like a landing dare or landing sair as an opener more, because they would have less recovery. So that's how you fix them just scooting around the map. Another thing on Greatsword that's OP are all the finishers do way too much force. I get that they're supposed to be like big hit moves, and if you've already read a dodge, that you can get the unjumpable finisher, but I don't think they should have as much force as some of the SIGs do, if not more force than some of the SIGs in this game. If SIGs are meant to be the big killing blow moves they're hard to land, but if you hit them, then they're really good, and they'll kill early, then I think that should be reserved for SIGs, not the finishers of your light attack strings. So I would nerf the force of all the finishers. Recovery, way too much force. Neither of the Greatsword characters that are in the game right now have a problem killing. I mean, Jaeon has his end sig, Mako has her down sig, so they are good for killing. I don't think Greatsword's kill option should be a one move thing. Like, Axe's kill option is Sair, and that's understandable because it only has one combo. It's sidelight nair, and I guess downlight dare. I mean dare downlight, sorry. I guess dare downlight, but I don't really count that because it's super situational. So of course its kill option on Axe is only going to be a one move thing. And I guess sidelight Sair, but that you're not going to kill with that because of the variable force. But anyway, so that makes sense for Axe, but with Greatsword, it has so many unjumpable strings that it doesn't need to have a move like recovery, which can kill really early without needing any setup. So I'd nerf recovery's force. And then dare on Greatsword comes out really fast. I don't know if I would nerf it though, because pretty much every dare in this game on every weapon is pretty broken. So I think dare on Greatsword is actually in line. So that one's fine. But yeah, nerfs for Greatsword. More recovery time on openers so that you can't just dash spam them. Less damage and force on the finishers, primarily force. Less force on recovery. And then, in addition to that, I guess, every Greatsword character, or both of them at this point, as this is being recorded, both Greatsword characters have absolutely ridiculous SIG kits. So, probably bring those in line too. But yeah, that's what I would do to nerf Greatsword. Anyway, yeah, so this is my tier list. There's no weapons in the don't play section right now, although honestly, probably shouldn't play Scythe. I'm just gonna quickly look over this list and make sure that there's nothing I wouldn't change. Alright, I made a couple changes. I moved Lance up to balanced because I feel like I would not look at Lance and think, yeah, I can play it, but there are better options. I think the weapon is pretty balanced. It doesn't have any kill combos. It kind of reminds me of Axe in a way. Like you can't really say Lance struggles killing and then Axe doesn't. I mean, they both have a similar Sayer that kills pretty early, similar angles, similar startup and whatever, similar priority. So I would move Lance up to balanced, I think. And then as for gauntlets, I moved down to balanced. I think in the context of current patch, where we have these 4 overlords up here, Greatsword, Hammer, Spear, and Bow, gauntlets Downlight Nair Recovery and Downlight Nair Dare do not constitute it being OP, only purely by comparison. It's at the top of balanced. Next patch, I assume these 3 weapons will be nerfed. I don't see how they could not be nerfed. Bow, I think will be nerfed, but I'm not going to be surprised if it's not, because it's so underplayed, like I said. So in the context of next patch, where I assume these weapons get nerfed, gauntlets will be OP by comparison. But in this patch and in this context of balanced, I think that they are balanced. So anyway, this is my final tier list. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I should do this for Legends. It would be an undertaking, but I could. And yeah, thank you for watching. Peace.